Guys, welcome to another Extra Talk. Today, Papimento is the host. Juan had a wedding to attend. So, with EyeJax, we all know EyeJax and a new guest, Pele. Pele, welcome. EyeJax, welcome.
Thank you very,
Thanks.
Thank you
Pele,
very much for having me, guys.
before we start with anything, introduce yourself for us. You're from Sweden. I think Zlatan and Ajax, maybe that's a combination, but explain to us as well how you became an Ajax fan. That would be nice before we start and get into Ajax.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, of course, you go with the Zlatan connection in that sense. I mean, that happened before I was into football, really, because I haven't really been that into it before I went to university. So I'm a little bit of what some fans would call plastic, right? Which comes around the 17, 18, the golden run, the golden era, or rather at least the closest one we have had. So basically that's where it comes from, where I started enjoying football, and then I went into, I started looking into it, and Ajax really caught my attention with a great football and also with a great community. I just felt right at home. And then after that, I went to Colombia, and I happened to be roomies with some from the Netherlands who, not unfortunately, who actually really, it was great that they weren't Feyenoord supporters. So we bonded over that, so we found something to bond over and talk over. So, I found a community, and I found the beautiful game from Ajax, and it's actually been great ever since. So then and also with the pandemic. So that's basically somewhat of a newbie, but I'm getting around to it.
Perfect. Before we continue, your favorite Ajax player?
Which, our chicken current, or our chicken current, or over like in general.
In general.
I mean, it would be a cop-out answer to go with anything else but Zlatan, but you know what? I would probably go with Tadic. Tadic is my current. So I used to have Onana, but I think if I would say that right now, I think I would get swarmed by the fan base. So I'm being somewhat cautious.
I understand. And do you have a lot of Ajax fans in Sweden?
No, not really. I mean, if you go out into the city and if you throw a rock, you might hit an Arsenal supporter, you might hit a PSG supporter, and if you do, you throw another rock because there's PSG. Not bringing no hate, just joking, of course. But yeah, no, there's not really a lot of us. I've found maybe 2-3 people I've been able to talk to. So therefore, like this community on Twitter with We Talk have really been great, actually, because you've been able to engage with other like-minded Ajax supporters and be able to share, the philosophies of Ajax, which have been great, really. So, exactly. But no, in Sweden, no, not really. After Zlatan, we've been a dying breed, really.
Well, you notice that the international fan base of Ajax is growing, and they're catching a lot of attention. So happy to have you in the Ajax community, and let's get into it, guys. I mean, let's start. Leg in, Tadic has been connected with some AC Milan interest. They wanted to give him a big salary to come over. We just heard that Tadic and Mark Overmars said that they will not let him go, and Tadic confirmed that today after the friendly match that Ajax is his dream club, doesn't want to leave. Let's just also, even though he's not leaving, let's get into it. Pele, do you think that Mark Overmars made a wise choice in saying he shouldn't leave? Looking at
for sure.
Looking at all that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, for sure. I mean, I know that Ajax theme is, for the future, but at the same time, you need, some of the glue, the experience that which come with age. You need that to put the team together, and I don't think we would have found that with any other captain right now. I mean, you could. Some would probably argue that you can get a big Berghus, but I don't think. Sorry for my what you call it. I can't bring it out, but yeah. But at the same time, Tadic is the only person I can actually see in that position right now, at least in the current team, which actually does that type of job well. I know that he's a little older, but I think that's to the benefits. And you know what? I'm just super happy that he stays. So I don't. we shouldn't be surprised, really. I mean, he's been telling us for months that Ajax is his dream club and he wants to stay. But I think that with Brobbey and also Onana, I think we are all having a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to, oh no, we're going to be losing yet another Ajax star. So, but I'm just happy that, he's staying. I'm just actually, eccentric. I do love that man.
EyeJax?
Yeah, this guy is fantastic. He's such a great captain, such a great person. And like Pelle just said, he loves that man. Same for me. This guy is terrific. And I think he's been the main reason why I've been doing so good in Europe in the last seasons. He is so incredibly important. And don't forget, he may be 32, but he's playing every single match. Never an injury, never absent on the field, And even if Ten Hag in a rare occasion gives him a little bit of rest, it's usually 45 minutes or something because he just wants to play. And he's such a great ambassador for the sports and for the club, for Ajax. He's definitely in my top 5 all-time players for Ajax up until now. And the love he's showing towards the supporters, towards the team, the stats he's producing every season again and again, and the way he's being a captain and being important for the team, because it's not only on the pitch, it's probably a lot off the pitch also. This guy is a role model, and I think we may be very blessed to have him at the club, and I hope he continues to play for our team for many seasons. It's just a great guy.
I mean, look, hard to argue with the opinion. I am host, so I have to be a little bit devil's advocate. I have to also say that some noise are being made that he's getting older. He's not the same Tadic that we bought, and of course, off the pitch, he's important, for the mentality of the club and as an ambassador. But will he be getting us far in Champions League with the level he's portraying now? Pelle?
I would definitely say so. I mean, if you look at his abilities right now, just from the previous season, I mean, he still keeps up with the assists, with the goals. He knows exactly where he's supposed to be on the pitch, and both on and on the pitch, I think he is excellent. I do believe that the argument that people are afraid that he's aging, and that I think the biggest reason for fear there is the fact that we might not have an alternative. For example, if Tadic, when he's aging, that we're not having that type of capable captain. But you know what? I think that speaks volumes for Tadic rather than against him. I mean, if you look at the thing with Tadic, right? It's so amazing for me that if you look at his abilities and his love for the game and the love for the team and the love for Ajax, that he could have been, a youth player, born and raised in Ajax. He is not. But if you look at the kind of determination he puts into the team, I believe that you could almost believe that he's been there from day one, right? So I think people are just worried that we don't have a suitable replacement for him yet. But I don't think that should be held against him, because I think, and I do believe that he will contribute in, like now back in the Champions League and with the Eredivisie. I do believe that both in the Netherlands and also outside it, he will continue to add for at least a few more seasons to go, because like EyeJax just said, he's a machine. I mean, he gets some rest, but he keeps on pushing, and there has been no sign of stopping in that man. He's insane, really.
Great player. I think one of the fittest in the team. EyeJax, anything you want to add to that?
I just want to say his stats speak for himself, because tell me one player last seasons, including Europe, that outperformed him with a contribution to the team. And maybe Ziyech comes close, because Ziyech was terrific, and he also produced very, very good stats. But I think Tadic still outperformed him stats-wise. And also last season in Europe, name one player who contributed more. I can't. So until that is different and other players step up, he is so important for us. And I do not care what other people say that he is aging. He's just performing still. And maybe he's not been performing like with highlights like in the season against Real Madrid in the Champions League, but still he's so damn important. And if you look at his way of playing, He's always with his head up, always scanning the surroundings when he has the ball, always thinking ahead. Speed is one thing, but what you do with the ball and the insight you have within the field, you cannot teach that to yourself. That is just a quality. And with age, that doesn't disappear. Maybe his physique will decline, but I saw some photos of him on a boat for his vacation trip on Instagram. This guy is like a Hulk. It's not normal. So no, I'm not one bit afraid of him declining and not being important for the team. He will just deliver. I'm positive of this.
And both of you agree that left winger is still his best position?
I think. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I know. Yeah, I believe. I think it's up for debate if he contributes the best as a left winger or as a centre forward, as we saw in the Europa League. Some would argue that the reason why we got so far in that sense was that we had him there. But at the same time, I do believe that, with age, as you saw also with a player like Zlatan, for example, that with age comes, a more great need to assist, for example. And I do believe that he contributes the most there, because I wouldn't probably say that he's, as EyeJax just said, he's not as it's not as dramatic as it was against Real Madrid, and it's not as maybe clinical, I don't want to call it, but so left wing is probably the best position for him. But I do believe that he has some range in his capabilities, so he's just not static in that sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think left winger for now is the best position, but he can play false striker, and I also see him play at 10. So I have no doubt that we will have a place for him, whatever is needed. And for now, he may be not the fastest player, but he's smart, he's strong, he is in the duels, he is using his body, and his trademark move. He just cuts and cuts again, when he has the ball. It doesn't have to do all with speed. He just has the ability to have the awareness of his surroundings, what is needed, and he delivers the ball clinically. So for me, I don't have care about speed alone. He will find a way on his own to deliver, and I have faith in our captain.
Look, I'm not going to fault Tadic for not having speed. I do think that when people talk about speed, it's because most of the positions now in Ajax, in a central position, don't have a lot of speed. So it's all cutting inside, and there's not a lot of depth in the team. So when we look at Tadic, Haller, Klaassen, Blind, even Alvarez, a lot of not fast players in the center of your pitch, That's the only thing I think people are worried about. But, enough said about Tadic. He's staying. Thank God for that. We should be very happy. And let's continue to the next subject. Exactly. Kjell Scherpen leaving us, going to Brighton Hove Albion for 5 million, as I read, 5 million. So actually, he's costing Brighton more than we are paying for Berghuis. That's a good deal. What do you guys think? Is that a good move, selling him, or should he have gone on loan first? No problem.
I mean, for me at least, I think Scherpen's always been that player, which I know a lot of other players put that one on Labiad, but there's only one player really in Ajax which I get nervous when I see them drop in the starting 11, and that has been Scherpen. Unfortunately, you do not want a goalie who's so inconsistent. And I say this in the best possible way, because I hope in the future with Brighton that he comes around and proves me wrong. That would be the best scenario. That he actually be like, oh, we should have let him go, because I think he needs a little bit of a restart for his career, especially after the entire Europa League run. But you shouldn't blame him for that entirely. Of course, it was circumstances, but really, I think this is the best choice for both parties, so both Ajax and also Scherpen, because I don't see really his future or what he could contribute to the team, especially now when we have Passaver and also the lad, which name I always forget. Gorter, yeah.
Yep.
So I don't see how he could bring something to the team in a sense and get regular playing time, not even as a second goalie. So I think this is the best possible choice. And if we could get 5 million for that, then I'm just happy,
Yes.
Yeah, let's go from one goat to the next. So from Tadic to Overmars. Mark, great businessman. I'm proud of you. For you to get this amount of money for Scherpen is just mind-blowing. And I wish Kjell all the best at Brighton and Hove. I hope you have a better spell there than you had at Ajax. I'm not going to miss you. I'm not hating you. I'm not going to miss you. I think we have sufficient goalkeepers now. And I do not see a future at our club at the moment for you and not in the near future. So it's better for both parties to just go separate ways. And I wish you all the best at Brighton and Hove. That's all I got to say about this.
And this is all based of the Roma game, or you guys really don't see any growth in him?
No, I just don't see the potential in him, and I do not think he developed enough in the last seasons to. We discussed it in the earlier videos to deliver in Ajax 1, and also I think he's a big guy. He's 2 meters 5 centimeters. I just do not see the agility and the aerial ability that is needed for a goalkeeper at Ajax. And I do also think he lacks a little bit of football skills to be included as a 11th person in the field, not only a goalkeeper. I do think other goalkeepers in our squad have more potential there. So do not say that he will not be a star in the future. I do not know. I just don't think we do not have the time to wait for it to happen. So Overmars did a great job, got good value for him, and I wish him all the best. No hate from me, but just don't see it happening at Ajax.
Yeah, neither do I really. I mean, once again, I don't hate the guy or nothing like that. At the same time, it's hard to forget the 4 or 5 against Utrecht. And I mean, if you drop in 4 goals against Utrecht, then maybe you're starting to think about, all right, it might once again be the circumstances. But as EyeJax has said, I don't see that finesse which you would like to have as a goalkeeper, and especially in the big Champions League games when Ten Hag, for example, is talking about 11 players on the pitch rather than 10. Yeah, that doesn't really happen with Scherpen in the goal, because I don't see how, unless you give unless the rest of the team is performing really well, I don't see how he can actually, be a benefit for the squad. And once again, don't hate the guy. He seems like a lovely dude, definitely. But at the same time,
it's your opinion. We have to give it, even though it's harsh.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's Ajax is really family, right? So you have to be fair. You have to be tough. You want everybody to perform well. You want everybody to do well. At the same time, that might not be, actually in the squad. So I really do hope him the best, but the best will probably not come in Ajax. No.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, guys, enough said about Kjell. I mean, I don't have anything to add to that. I think you guys are spot on in wishing him well. He's not the Ajax material that we need. So coming to our last question, there are 3 key players that are set to leave or are allowed to leave or don't have a contract renewal. Let's discuss them, and then I want to hear from you guys. If you could keep one, which one would you go for? The 3 players are Onana, Tagliafico, and Mazraoui. Pelle, you can go first.
I mean, purely out of nostalgia, that would probably be Onana, but at the same time, being completely reasonable and realistic, that will probably not be close to the case. At the same time, I do believe that if I got to choose, I would probably, for not only realistically, but pragmatically, or who I think would be hardest to replace currently, I would probably say that would probably be Tagliafico for me, actually. I mean, I love Mazraoui, and I do believe that his link-up play, for example, with players like Anthony has been great. At the same time, I do believe that we have players that could contribute that as well. And now I'm being partial because you've got to see a preview of that during the period he was away, which was about 2 months or something like that, I can't recall. So you got to see that the team actually functions without him. I do believe he's an excellent player and often underrated. But I would probably
before you continue, you started with Onana.
Yeah.
But you go to Tagliafico. So why would you rather keep Onana and still say the hardest is Tagliafico to replace?
Because I do have high hopes, or not high hopes. I have high beliefs in our current keepers. I know that they're a bit older, but I do believe that Stekelenburg and also Pasover will be able to contribute. Maybe not at Onana's level, but at the same time, if Onana is not willing to, extend for even 1 year and then possibly leaving afterwards, I don't see how. And I mean, he's been with the club for 5 years, right? So I don't see, and he's been talking a long time about wanting to play in another league. And I do not see how that in the end, like in the long term, could be beneficial for the team. I don't see how that, that's kind of not unwillingness. I think that will affect the play. At the
But
same time, I do
that's
believe
for
that
both, right? Because Tagliafico also wants to leave and Onana wants to leave. So
that's true. I mean, that's true. Tagliafico has also been talking about it for a while, but not being able to, catch the interest. I think more realistically, we probably will keep Tagliafico because I don't see really the window of finding a club giving us decent enough price. But at the same time, I wouldn't hate if we kept Onana for the 1 season more neither. I mean, if you, for example, Arsenal, they want to give us, what was it, 4 million, 4 to 7, depending on wanted. If they want to give that type of pocket money for Onana, I think we better keep him for 1 season and, actually be aiming to use him. But at the same time, for the long-term effect of the team, I would probably have to say Tagliafico, yes.
And Noose is not even in your list.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's difficult, right? I would probably say here, having to be completely reasonable, I would probably say Tagliafico, probably Noose, but it's these type of things, they switch every time when I think about it. So, but at the same time, I think now I'm being partial because I haven't seen him play for a while. So, that makes it easier because these are 3 players which I really do enjoy and which I love to have in the team. So I think that made it easier to, solely Noose off in a bit because, he hasn't been playing as actively and you have seen what other players can contribute in his absence. But it's definitely a tough one. And I saw that on the poll that it was very, very, it was very even. It was basically 33%, 33%, 33%. So everybody wants to keep basically the same amount of the same players, but different players with the same level of engagement. So it's a tough one, really.
EyeJax?
It's not a tough one for me, man. Onana screwed over. Onana's behavior is disgusting lately. So for me, he just screwed up my feeling I have about him. I love him for what he did, but he's screwing the club over and over. First with a pill, now with his behavior, and it's very egocentric for me. So no, not Onana. I can live with it if he signs for a few years and he pays his dues, for what he's did. So Tagliafico, love the guy, but he's stating that he wants to leave the club, and I think it is time if he wants to make a step. He's 27 or something. He's pretty old already. To go if he can get a reasonable amount for him, and I think Rens will be able to step up and take over the role because I have a lot of faith in Rens. But Overmars, if you're watching, use some of this Kjell Scherpen money to re-sign the contract of Mazraoui, because I hear a lot of people always saying, he's not been fit, but Mazraoui is a class player. Mazraoui is a player that contributes to the team. It's an Ajax product. He wants to stay at the club, and if he's fit and he's playing, he's a terrific right back. I'm sorry. So the link-up play with Anthony, the link-up play on the right side of the field, he's important there. Do not forget what he did against Real Madrid, the way he played, and also when he was fit, what his contribution was. People tend to forget this. So for me, it's Noose. I hope he gets a new contract, and I love to see him stay at our club longer. I'm really a fan of his play. And I hope Overmars makes a sensible decision and extends his contract, because I think he can be of value for us.
I just want to add to that because you said about Onana, like he should pay his dues, but you could also see that he already paid his dues for Ajax. And why renew your contract if this is your contract is done and you can go to another club and find another adventure? He did bring us in a very far in the Champions League. He was great for us for a while. Can't you just let the pill go and be happy for him?
Yeah, I wish he did let the pill go. You know, that we didn't have this problem. But let's be honest. If you have a contract at a company where you're working, do they judge you for what you did the last years, or does he have a contract and cannot deliver what he's been paid for? You know, he's a player. He made a big mistake. He now cannot play for 9 months. The value decreases because he was like 20, 30 million at least when he was in his prime and just had a normal contract. So his value decreases. I do not know if Ajax pays him his money during the months he cannot play. He cannot train with the team. He's not part of the team. And he does nothing to like establish like something towards the fans, towards the club to say, hey, I want to stay at the club. Let's do a few more years and let's make the best of it. No, it's all about, yeah, I want to leave. I do not want to sign a new contract. I'm transfer free after this season, you know. It's egocentric. So no, it's too easy to say what he did is enough. He has a contract for a few years. Even with a normal job, if you cannot deliver, you will already be fired. So no.
So at least he should have signed for another year, and at least Ajax should have gotten something out of it, right?
At least the least he can do is re-sign an amount of years, or maybe 1 year, 1.5 years for what he cannot deliver in the period that he is like now suspended.
Yeah,
for me.
Agree. And I will give my opinion on this. I mean, seriously, I hope that Tagliafico and Noes both stay. That wasn't the question, but I think Rensch is not going to be capable of playing 50 plus games. He's still young. I don't see Timber as the best right back, to be honest. I see him central. That's my favorite position.
Kleiber.
Kleiber, totally not on the level of Noes. But yeah, I do think what you said, the EyeJax. I mean, you know, Noes is one of the best right backs you can wish for. And if he's not injured, he can get a very high level on the pitch. Sometimes even if you look at the first half of the season, one of the best on the pitch, not only as his defending capabilities, but he used to be a midfielder. So on the ball, he's also terrific, you know?
Pimento, hands down, he's the best right back we have on the Dutch fields.
On the Dutch fields, for sure.
Fit, no Dumfries, do not hear anything about that. No, Noes would be the best right back we have on the Dutch field if he's fit.
But I would even go further than that and say Noes fit in his top performance is top 10 European right back. Seriously, I mean, I don't see many that are much better than him. And then Tagliafico, he brings a total different quality, you know, his grit, his fighting spirit, he keeps on going. And I like that combination of him and Tadic. I don't know, that works so well. So, yeah, if we can keep them both, yes, please. Onana, he's leaving anyway, so I'm not going to even say that. But if the decision had to be made, I would say keep Noes and play Rensch on the left.
Yeah, I agree. But let's hope, it was a difficult question. Let's hope both Tagliafico and Noes extend.